What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you thought that we are going to have to wait months and months before we see another stimulus package get passed, well then you might be wrong. According to multiple reports and according to the Washington Post and many Capitol reporters, they are saying that Democrats plan to bring a budget resolution to both houses next week. This could happen as early as Monday. Now, this is what many lawmakers have been saying is the only way possible to get a stimulus package done quickly is through a budget reconciliation. However, according to all reports, President Biden is still trying to work directly with Republicans and trying to get them on board to reach some type of bipartisan agreement. What we are hearing is that President Biden is picking up the phone and calling every single Republican, trying to get them on board, or at least calling the moderates to try to get them to sway over to the Democratic side. However, he's not having a lot of luck. So this is why many Democrats, are currently trying to get something done. And there's multiple bills being written at this time. First, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said today, the work must move forward, preferably with our Republican colleagues, but without them if we must. Time is of the essence to address this crisis. He also went on to state that Senate Democrats must be prepared to vote as early as next week on a possible stimulus package. Again, what is going to be included in this stimulus package is most likely going to be everything that President Biden laid out in this $1.9 trillion bill. Again, they're calling this the COVID relief package, not a stimulus package because there's only a small amount of stimulus. The main goal is to provide relief for COVID. Now, Democrats, and in particular Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, do not want to wait months to pass another meaningful stimulus package. They would prefer to get it done now, and if this means alienating all Republicans, getting it done without them, without anybody from the Republican side on board, then this is fine with them. They're willing to do it to provide for the American people. What we know, and this is something that Bernie Sanders has said multiple times, is when former President Bill Clinton was in office, and the Democrats held the presidency, the House, and the Senate. What happened at that time is they didn't provide enough to the American people, and then 2 years later, the Democrats end up getting swept, and the Republicans then controlled the House and the Senate. And then in 2008, when Obama was in office, they did the exact same thing. Obama was in the president. We had Democrats holding the majority in the House, and we had Democrats holding the majority in the Senate. Well, 2 years later, after the whole financial crisis and the housing market just completely collapsed, what happened? Well, President Obama then had to deal with a Republican House and a Republican Senate because they just swept them again. Well, this is what Bernie Sanders said cannot happen this time. We need bold and robust action, and we need to do that now. So that's exactly what Democrats are planning to do. Now, this is why there are multiple stimulus packages in the works. Because right now they are saying that, we're going to let President Biden do his thing and try to negotiate with Republicans and get them on board with a bipartisan stimulus package. But at the same time, we cannot worry about that. We cannot put all our eggs in one basket. We need to do something else. This is where reports are indicating that some House Democrats are working on the $1.9 trillion stimulus package and trying to include bipartisan pieces. This is where they're getting some advice from President Biden, taking what he's getting from Republicans and trying to piecemeal this into a bill. I think they're going to have a tough time. I don't think they're going to have any luck here, but hopefully they will. Another report says that Democrats in both houses are putting together the parts of the budget reconciliation and planning on introducing this on Monday. This is big, and this is what I just talked about earlier in this video. And another report is stating that some senior Democrats are putting a bill together that only addresses the $1,400 stimulus checks and vaccine distribution. We saw earlier today there was a bill that came out, the Raise the Wages Act, that provided $1,500 federal minimum wage increase. Now, this is not an instant boost to $15. It actually takes people from $7.25, if that's currently what they're making, and boosts them up to $9.50. One of the things I just want to address before I get into the rest of this video is that earlier today I did a video on that, and I'll link to that. It'll be the first link down in the description box below. What I did not address in that video, which is a big mistake on my part, was that I was saying it's really good. It's really good for the American people. They're going to get some more money per hour. But when you think about this, and I didn't address this in the video, again, which is my mistake, but what I didn't address is the amount of businesses that are going to go under because they cannot afford to pay somebody $9.50. Again, as soon as President Biden signs this, it would most likely be either the next day or possibly the first day of the month for the subsequent month. That's when it would all start. The issue here is some businesses will not be able to afford this. So they will either let employees go or they will just completely go under. That's a big issue. So even though this is going to help keep people out of poverty, some people will still be in poverty because they will be going on unemployment. And once unemployment benefits run out, these people will be without work. So I just wanted to address that because that is a bill that is currently currently a bill. It was already presented. So now we're just kind of waiting on that because that will most likely be included into some of these stimulus packages at $1.9 trillion. Now, what I can tell you is that before, when we would get multiple bills, and we've seen this multiple times when Mitch McConnell would have a bill, Nancy Pelosi would have a bill, and then former President Trump would have a bill as well. Well, the issue with that at that time was all these bills would just do nothing, in that nothing was going to get done, they wouldn't be acceptable, and nothing would get approved. Now, with Democrats holding all the power, this is actually a good thing. This is actually a really good thing that now they could take multiple bills, put them on the floor of the House. Even though they could be dealing with the exact same stuff, they could be like, okay, well, we're going to vote on the budget reconciliation process today. All right, perfect. Well, if, let's say, 250 Democrats, well, there's not 250 Democrats, but let's say we get 250 yeses compared to the no's on that one, but then we go and do the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, and then we get like 275 people that say yes and vote yes compared to the rest that vote no. Now, again, these numbers are completely wrong. They will not be that high, but I'm just trying to give you an example, a very obvious example. If this was the case, then once it gets kicked over to the Senate, they have two different bills. Chuck Schumer can be like, you know what? We're not going to vote on the budget reconciliation because we got more votes on the other one, on the bipartisan bill. So let's take that one to a vote. If that one doesn't pass, then we'll vote on the budget reconciliation. So right now there's two different options. Technically there's three. There's three that are about to hit the floor of the Senate or the House. So we will see this coming week. But what we are hearing is that having the $15 federal minimum wage bill complete and ready to go actually speeds up the process. And it does because right now, if Democrats want to pass a comprehensive stimulus package and not a bunch of standalone bills, then they need to act fast because this bill is kind of propelling them, pushing them forward. Hey, let's get this done. This bill is already sitting here. This bill is ready to be voted on. So why are we waiting? Let's either vote on this bill, on this $15 federal minimum wage, which most likely would have no chance of passing in the Senate. We either vote on this or we need to quickly get the other stuff going so that we can attach this bill to the rest. That's what we're hearing. Remember, the Senate is hoping, pretty much praying to make headway before the February 9th start of President Trump's impeachment trial. This is when we are going to see it happen. It was supposed to be February 8th, but now it's actually been pushed back to February 9th. So we have a date there. However, the Senate held a vote today to determine whether or not this impeachment trial for a former president, not a sitting president, a former president, is even constitutional or not. Well, the votes went 55 yeses saying it's constitutional compared to 45 noes that say no. It was unconstitutional to try to impeach a former president who is out of office. So this means that if the votes continue to go this way and it turns 55 to 45, what you need to understand is that you need 67 votes. You need 67 votes in the Senate to impeach a president. For an impeachment, you need 67 votes. This means when they're tied 50 to 50, 50 Republicans to 50 Democrats, the Republicans, there'll have to be 17 Republicans to vote yes to indict him. Right now, there's not enough votes. So I can tell you that because of this, the Senate might take up weeks of their time doing something when they already have the results. They already know what they're going to be. But right now, is according to all experts, they are saying that this is going to be a very valuable waste of time in the Senate, but they expect Chuck Schumer is not going to do anything else. He wants to get rid of President Trump. Nancy Pelosi wants to get rid of President Trump. All Democrats, most Democrats would like to get rid of President Trump so that they do not have to deal with him ever again. So another report is stating that the Senate could pretty much drop this entire thing, this entire impeachment quickly. However, they do not expect that to happen. What we know right now is that if the Senate frees up their time and the House gets multiple bills through to the Senate, then we could see stimulus pass much sooner, a whole lot sooner than previously expected. A lot of people were saying, including myself, were saying we might not see this until possibly March, but we might not see a stimulus check until April. Again, that's just what we're hearing. Remember, the Senate goes on recess for 1 week between February 13th and February 21st. About 7 days, it's actually 8 days. This means that Congress must act fast to get something done now prior to that date. If this happens, then we could see stimulus as soon as the end of February. And that includes a stimulus check, not just a stimulus vote and approval. We could see checks sometime in February, which is key. And yes, this would include a $1,400 stimulus check. But here's what we're hearing now. Remember earlier I was saying, and many experts, and again, I'm not an expert, but I'm just the guy on YouTube, but many experts were saying that if this gets done quickly, if this gets done soon, we might not see this as a $1,400 stimulus check, just a standalone check. We might see this as an amendment. And if this is an amendment, here's what you need to understand. It's a $2,000 stimulus amendment. It amends the $600 to $2,000. This means, and this also includes adult dependents. If this happens, adult dependents might not just get a $1,400 check, they would get a full $2,000 check. This also includes $2,000 for children as well. So that could be big. This bill, again, if it passes, if we see it this coming week, this will be larger and longer unemployment benefits. It will include school funding, vaccine funding, state and local government funding, additional rental assistance, and additional SNAP benefits, and much more. The key right now that we need to watch for is what Democrats do for the rest of this week. If we see them moving forward, we get leaks and reports of this package coming out, we know what's going to be in it. But if we see they're making progress, and we can see this possibly this week, maybe this weekend, before it actually gets revealed on Monday, that could be big. And if all this stuff happens, then the likelihood of us seeing something happen next week as far as a vote is extremely high. So I just want you to understand, I will be keeping my eye out for all this stuff, all the updates and everything going on with Democrats and the Republican Party. So consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.